Good morning, everybody. Today I want to show you how we're going to get these tomatoes to ripen before it frosts. Every year on August 30th, which happens to be my birthday, which is probably the only reason I can remember, it frosts every single year. Now, it's usually not an actual killing frost, but it does damage things like tomatoes and peppers and squash significantly enough that it does impact fruit production. If I picked the tomatoes after that point, after that light frost, usually what I find is that even though they're fully ripe and fully mature and they don't look like they have damage, they don't finish ripening inside properly. They usually mold or rot or shrivel up before we get to enjoy them. So a lot of effort has gone into figuring out how can we grow tomatoes, which varieties we want to grow, different covers and all of that. And while yes, I totally should have ordered the extra greenhouse plastic to cover these guys, I just didn't get to it this year. So you know, you can only tackle one thing at a time. And this year our main goal was getting the raised bed garden in and learning that, and we did it. We did do that, and I'm really excited. And so this year I did focus on some different varieties. I did grow the tomatoes in black plastic or next to black plastic, and while I did put up this nice cattle panel, I had planned on tying them up, but I couldn't remember which plants were determinate and which plants were indeterminate when I planted them. And for pruning purposes, that matters. And so I never ended up tying them up, which is terrible, but it happens every single year. Last year I finally remembered to tie them up in the greenhouse, and they grew so big and leggy that it didn't actually matter anyway. So this is like one of those crops that's not a surefire crop for me, so it's not usually very high on my priority list. I know, and this year was such a late and long, cold, kind of wet spring summer time that I didn't prioritize it. So anyway, I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit because I think we could have gotten even more fruit off of them had I done that, but we're doing it now, so that's what matters, right? So a couple of tips that I wanted to share with you on getting these guys to ripen early is we're gonna go through here, and it's gonna look a lot different when we get done, you guys. It's gonna look pretty bad, but it's okay, because what matters at this point is not the plants, it's the fruit. That's what we care about. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna cut out every single branch that doesn't have fruit on it. We're gonna cut out all of the branches at the bottom that don't have fruit on them. We're gonna trim all the tops of every single plant off, determinate and indeterminate, because look, we're really preparing for frost at this point. It's imminent. We know it's coming. We might have a week if we're lucky. If we're really lucky, we'll end up with a little bit more than that, but that's pretty rare. And then I have dirt in my gloves, of course. I did buy new ones, but there's only one hole in this, so I gotta wear these out a little bit more. Anyway, we're gonna go through here. We're gonna just tidy them up a little bit. I don't know at this point if I actually want to tie anything to the fence because, well, let's face it, it's a little late in the season. We're gonna be pulling these plants out soon enough anyway. So we're gonna just clean up the branches and kind of see what we're left with, and then I'll tell you guys the next couple of tricks that we're gonna try out. Before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you're new here to the channel, welcome. I'm Esther, and this is Esther's Eden, and I am excited to share lots of garden tips with you guys here at the very end of the season. There's no exact method to what I'm doing here, but I do encourage you to go slow. You know, at this point, it's all about fruit production. So down low is the fruit that we actually have that's really ripe, and these things most likely won't have a chance. Now, I am gonna leave some of them because number one, I'm pruning so heavily that it will start forcing all production energy into making these tomatoes grow better and ripen. But also, if we don't get a frost, I don't want to throw out everything, just in case. So all I'm doing is I'm just trimming off, like this branch has no tomatoes on it above this point, so I'm just trimming that whole thing off and getting rid of it. And I'll just continue going the whole way. So this guy has some fruit, so we're gonna actually leave that, but we can cut out all these other branches below it in order to bring some more light to this plant. And that's really what it's all about, is that this time of year our sun is going lower and lower in the sky and we're losing that light. So what we need to do is we need to get light to these plants so it makes them ripe. If you guys are new to pruning techniques and you are a little bit nervous to get started on something like a permanent tree, maybe, let's say, tomatoes are great because they grow really fast and you can prune them so much, and it just shows you and teaches you pretty well what you can actually do to a tree. So I suggest, if you want to learn, rosemary is another good practicing plant for pruning techniques. If you did this earlier in the season, you would want to leave a few more branches on than I am going to now, just for photosynthesis purposes. But we're gonna really go to town here. All right, you guys, I'm gonna keep on working on this, and I thought I would show you guys while I finish this up, moving our chicks to their new home. They're finally big enough to be outside in their little tiny coop before we introduce them to the big chickens. We gotta let them grow up a little bit more. So here's some pretty cute footage of my kids and my nephews helping to move the chicks that we just incubated. If you didn't catch that video, I'll leave a link up in the iCards for you. Today's an exciting day. The chicks get to move to their new home.
And we helped make it!
Yay!
Yeah! There's two of them right here.
The cousins are here helping out. No, it's just water, buddy. Hi, buddy. Who's the lucky chick?
Lucky. Mommy's sitting in my hand. No, get out. You go do that. I got some more. Cheep, 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 cheep. Whoop. It's a flapper. Yep. It's a flapper. Here you go, buddy.
Just in a minute. The last one. All right, you guys, this is how far I've gotten. Look at that. So we are absolutely loaded with tomatoes. I'm so excited. And like, there's some in here. Look at this guy, it's huge. This one is bigger. We are gonna continue and go down and do the rest of the row just like we've done here. What I have done is I've removed any leaves that are yellowing at all. I removed almost all of the leaves. Actually, I left a little bit at the top, but anything that was shading out the tomatoes, I went ahead and pulled that off. Anything that looked kind of diseased or yucky or moldy, I pulled that off. Any of the fruit besides the ones at the very top here, so I've left a couple experimental ones. You can see those smaller ones right there. And mostly our goal is to get these ones on the bottom ripe. We'll see. It was wonderful. 2 nights ago, the temperatures never even shifted. Well, they only lowered a little bit. It stayed 70 degrees for most of the night, which was awesome. That really helped these tomatoes. And then we got, I think we're gonna get some rain. So you can see it's a little gray today. I'm not complaining at all. We have not had rain. We really haven't had any rain. A big storm moved through our area recently, but we didn't get any of the rain a couple nights ago. It poured really hard, but because it's so dry, it wasn't enough. So I've been watering. Really quick, I'm going to share the rest of the tips with you just in case I can't show you the rest of doing the tomatoes because of the weather. I am going to just slightly, in fact, I'll just do it right now, take these plants by just the base, and I'm just going to pull up slightly. Can you see that? Just tug on the roots just a little bit, and all you're doing is shifting those roots, like shocking the plant, like, something's happening, and that should signal it to go ahead and finish off these. We're not going to let these flower anymore. We're going to put every single ounce of energy from this plant into ripening up these guys, and hopefully, because they are looking more sort of transparent in color, a little lighter than they were, hopefully, I think these are probably fully grown. So even if we did get a frost, we could come through and pick them before that happens. But you guys, look at these tomatoes. I am so excited. Just off of this one plant would be an entire produce box, which is that's how much tomatoes I buy in a year. I only buy one produce box to make salsa with. So even if I got that one plant harvested and I didn't get any of the rest of this, that would already be saving the $30 or whatever I spend. Hang on, please. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you have any more questions on how to get your tomatoes to ripen, or if you want to know a little bit more details about what I did in order to get a good harvest like this, I will love to share that with you guys. I will be sharing with you all of those things. I will share, the varieties and all that kind of stuff here coming up in a video really soon. Stay tuned for the rest of the week. I am going to be doing a harvest video with you guys because we are hauling in the harvest right now. It is so exciting. We have so many fun things to share with you and lots of great things happening in the next 2 weeks on our farm that I can't wait to show you guys. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I will see you in a video again real soon. I guess we're bringing these ones in for ripening on the counter. That's why you do this before they get fruit on them. Oh my gosh, you guys, we did it. Beautiful. You can walk all the way through. Look at all these tomatoes. And look, they're turning. We're so excited. This was a huge job to do. Seriously. Oh, wait. Do it. Do it when they're little. But I'm just so happy with all of these tomatoes. So now, join me. Pray. Happy thoughts that we end up getting them ripe. I will be so excited. This whole bush, it starts like right here and goes, Ben, walk back that way, buddy. Back, back, back. Stop right there. Goes all the way till Ben. That's one plant. And look at here. Look at these great beans. Look how big they are. Don't pick them. Don't pick them. These are, we've got black beans and red beans, like kidney beans, and pinto beans on here. So, and I have some scarlet runners just for the hummingbirds and the bees. But I'm pretty excited.
Daddy Longleg.
Daddy Longleg. I'm gonna go take a break. We're gonna do some homeschool. And he thinks he needs more food. What do you guys think? Does he need more food? I think he needs to stop eating so much so he slows down growing. That's what I think.